Well, that leaves Ironheart, my friend. That leaves Ironheart.
What is there to say about Ironheart?
Surprisingly lots.
Hey, yo, get off the street.
It had the worst first impression on me because I think that pilot was probably the worst pilot of all of them.
Worse than Echo, you think?
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's in the same league. You could tell it was like cut to shit. Like
Yeah.
it was like the most jarring, abrasive thing. I don't know. It's just it seemed like an abomination that they were trying to get out. That pilot specifically.
So I have a theory, which is that once they started to realize, like, fuck, we've had a few bombs here. You know, we've been rushing these out and we've been assuming that everybody was just going to enjoy the new characters and the new wacky situations. Once they started to realize this thing is probably DOA, they shot it in 2023 and they released it just now. She was introduced in Black Panther, and ideally it would have come right on the heels of Black Panther, the second one. I think that they were like, we got to get it out. We can't Batgirl it. They did a unique release strategy. I remember Echo, they released all of it at once. And that was when they invented the concept of Marvel television. Where they're like,
they have a new stinger. It's like, this is kind of set apart, maybe.
It's their way of saying you don't have to watch it, which is crazy.
It's crazy.
Never mind.
Never mind. Whatever. Fuck this.
It's right. It's the only, like Feige says it over and over again. He's like, people feel like it's a lot of homework. People feel like it's a lot of work. People feel like they can't catch up. So what if we told them they don't have to watch this one? Like, well, how about you don't make it? It's just about that simple.
Well, I feel like they made it, and then because of, like, I don't know, union rules, they have to release it. So
yeah, I think it's probably something like that. They had to do it eventually. And so they kind of dumped it out, and they dumped it out by, instead of dumping the whole thing at once, and instead of doing week by week, they did 3 one week and 3 the next. And Andor, this is not, where Andor had like a kind of a cool artistic release schedule. But I think what happened was, I think that this was probably an 8 episode season, maybe 9. I think 8. Because 8 was standard, I think, for a while there. And I think what you're watching in the pilot, I think all the cuts came in the early episodes. And then they kind of let the later ones be a little bit cleaner. And so I think part of the reason the pilot was so terrible was probably because it's multiple episodes smushed together quickly.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And it's like, and all the most abrasive stuff's in that first episode. It's like, I'm gonna be bigger than Tony. I'm gonna be bigger than, and
Yeah.
it's like, and it's like, so it's like Tony's like the hero of like the universe, and you're like, no shade to him, but he had money, and it's like, what?
Tony really is like, I mean, I'm just saying, you guys spent a lot of money telling us that Tony Stark is good.
Yeah, and he built the arc reactor in a cave with a box of scraps, as famously said. Yeah, so it's just like doesn't make sense in the universe, and it's like, but it sets it up that she's kind of obsessed with money at first, and she's concerned about money over first, and she's even like talking about like, oh, I'd only work for like a tech company if I could like steal off of them like tech so I could build the suit.
I like this person.
She's really obsessed with building a suit for some reason.
I'm very genius. I have the biggest words. She mentioned how genius she was a lot of times.
I'm here because I can be the greatest inventor of my generation.
She gets drawn into this criminal gang led by Malachite from Suburban Nights. I don't know. When he comes out, he's got the leather, he's got like the greasy hair, and he's like talking all serious. I'm like, Malachite?
Malachite? Is that you? Turned out he was a little different. He was a little bit more emotional.
He's a little more emotional. Yeah, he actually wasn't that bad. But like the first impression was so horrible, and then you have like the group of gangsters, which are like the perfect like DEI gangsters. And
yeah, very much so. And which signals to the audience that these are meant to be good people because they're diverse and they're representative. And so I think generally speaking, and like a lot of the scenes with them were very, they were warm to one another. They were very inviting. And for her, when they went on their heist, they played exciting music. And so I think we were supposed to feel like these were, to whatever extent they're criminals, they're not bad criminals. They're doing what they have to do. And you're meant to have some sympathy for them. And then you're supposed to, as time goes on, feel less bad for them as Parker becomes more corrupt, right? I think that was kind of what it was going for.
Screw this.
I did want to say this. Ryan Coogler, the director of the Black Panther movies, he's the producer. And they put him out on the press circuit about a month before with a lot of other people. And the one thing that they said a million times was, this is not meant to be Tony Stark's successor. This is not meant to be Tony Stark's successor.
Riri is she's a contemporary of Tony Stark's, and she definitely believes in him and loves the legacy he left for her, but Riri is intent on making her own iconic legacy. She's not interested in being the heir to Iron Man. She's interested in being her very own Ironheart.
And I think that's probably a little bit of a, of a retcon. That's a little bit of like a, don't worry.
You don't have to watch this.
You don't need to watch it. But much like that was Tony, what's his name, Gilroy. He said he said explicitly. He said, well, he was on like Seth Meyers, and he said, well, the one thing Disney Lucasfilm wants me to say is that you don't need to like Star Wars to watch this. And I was like, I understand. I do. I really do. There's a lot of people that they're like Star Wars, fuck. But isn't it incredible that you now have to sell a Star Wars property by being like, it's not that Star Wars-ish. Don't worry. But I'm like, well, then why is it Star Wars? Why did you spend all that money on the property? Why is this Marvel? Why is it an iron suit? What is it?
If you don't idolize Tony Stark, how come you're making his suit basically over and over again?
Yeah, make something else. Make a cool microwave that heats up steak. I was looking at the phase because this ends Phase 5. Did you know this?
Oh wow! What a phase!
So check this out. This was the slate at Comic-Con, I think. Ant-Man, Quantumania. 2023, February 2023. That was the start of Phase 5.
Oh, did you hear that? Mike Douglas, he's quit acting.
Yeah,
he's retired. And then Evangeline Lilly, who plays the Wasp, she quit acting too. And Jonathan Majors, he was kind of forced to quit acting.
He quit.
So Ant-Man was kind of cursed.
Ant-Man gets squashed at the box office. Ant-Man's a giant flop.
It disillusioned all of the actors out of acting.
Socialism is a loaded word for Ant-Man. What the fuck?
I mean, I know socialism is a charged word, but we could learn a lot from these.
We saw that in theaters together. We had a little bit of fun because what's his face? The crazy looking dude in the suit.
Oh yeah.
I'm such a twat, or whatever he says.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a dick.
I'm such a dick.
Look at me. I'm such a dick.
Secret Invasion was the next part. Remember that show?
Oh yeah, that's great.
Sticking out like a sore thumb, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy's a director still, I heard. Echo, which they definitely dumped that one now. Remember, that was waiting in the wings for a while.
That was going to the garbage dump.
I think for my money, and we'll get more into Ironheart in a second, for my money, Echo is worse than Ironheart, I think, for sure.
I think so, yeah. Echo's worse.
Loki Season 2, I'm not a fan. You know what?
I like Ironheart better than Loki Season 2.
I like Ironheart better than Loki Season 2. Loki, I remember between like Kang, that weird, I'm squirrely timely or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah.
And like, remember,
the
like,
last we ever saw of him.
You just kept getting lost in this ridiculous plot. It didn't have enough Owen Wilson, in my opinion. The first season had more of him. Then the Marvels, right? Another one that like felt like it was supposed to be 2 hours and got cut down to 90. Just another movie that they're trying to get through. Blade, November 2023. Should have gotten a Blade movie.
Oh, I remember that.
Should have gotten a Blade movie.
The only Blade there ever will be. There'll only be one Blade.
Only one Blade. Ironheart, fall 2023. Didn't happen until 2 years later. Agatha, Coven of Chaos is what it was called at the time. Became Agatha all along. Which, yeah, definitely my least favorite one.
That's
definitely.
My least. That's I hated it. I hated it.
Bottom of the barrel.
Like theater kid. Like
theater
splooge.
Kids. Theater kid splooge is right. Daredevil Born Again, look, I wasn't a fan, but way better than a lot of the stuff around here.
Yeah.
And that was after reshoots, right? Like I had to reshoot it to get it to be like a little bit better. Captain America New World Order, another one that I think was reworked a lot. And then Thunderbolts, which was, I'm not a fan. I mean, it was okay.
Oh,
yeah, sure, compared to this.
Oh, yeah, there was a picture going around of Brave New World or whatever it's called. Isaiah Bradley was in a Captain America suit too. and like Captain Israel, the girl, was like more in her full suit too.
So they had a whole thing that they were.
So
gonna
they had like Isaiah Bradley was going to be more of a character. They had more going on.
It's like, what percentage of that lineup was them going like, "Oops," and just pushing stuff out into the boat?
Oops. Pushing it off a cliff.
It's like in the end of TMNT when Shredder falls into the garbage truck and Casey Jones goes, "Whoops!" Murders a Shredder. Casey Jones. Not even the Turtles would do that. Whoops!
Well, he comes back. He has like a little scar underneath his helmet, right?
Yeah, he's all right. He's fine. Casey Jones didn't get the one up on him. That's what Feige did to Marvel. Whoops! And greenlit all this stuff. But you know what's missing from that slate, of course, is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, yeah, which was their biggest success. Well, they I think they were like they quickly announced it after that slate, and they pushed it. They made it as quickly as they could with the writer strike. But yeah, that was clearly the best thing this whole phase.
I mean, yeah, that and Guardians 3 are like really excellent comic book movies, and then like I would say, all timers in their own respect.
Deadpool's more of a Fox movie, really.
And so really, it's way better. I mean, I Echo, the Marvels. I mean, this is some shit. But anyway, I've been certainly waiting for Ironheart for a while just to see. So she falls in with this criminal gang. She wants to make some money. They're like, hey, we won't do any actual violence. And then what happens? They
have a really bad capers where they like get these rich people to like sell contracts like under duress, which would never work. Like, you got to make us employees, and they have like they're like threatening them. Like that wouldn't work at all. But that's what the capers do. And then they get the money and they throw it and do belly dances while throwing money.
That was definitely a moment where I was like, is this my hero? And I remember, the predictable response to that is like, well, Tony Stark was a prick. He was designed to be a prick. He was designed to have this arrogance problem that he then had to, and like the arc of his whole story was like overcoming it. Maybe that's what they're doing. And as we get to the end of the season, I'm going to leave some room for that. But while I'm watching it, I'm on episode. That's part of the problem is like I know that the creators love their character, and so I can't tell if they like what she's up to or if they don't like what she's up to. She's built this AI best friend who she had a best friend who died. She's now her whatever Bosley. What was the guy's name in the Tony Stark suit?
Jarvis.
Bosley.
Bosley.
Somebody's got to be Bosley. She's the new Jarvis basically for her suit, and it's like a bestie. And it's an abomination, of course, because it's an AI recreation of somebody who's dead.
Yeah, and it's very strange and almost like a Disney Channel like children's original like kind of feeling to it. It's like that they have that kind of banter, like it's a Disney Channel for teens kind of drama.
Hey girl, how's the heist going? The drive. Oh, my bad. Did I scare you again?
And that was another example of like, I was like, I can't tell what the ethics of the show are because there's that guy Xavier. How does he relate? Is he her brother? Is he the dead girl's brother? Who the hell is he?
I don't know. He's like a friend, but I think because he seems more like a love interest. But
they couldn't do that. They can't muster up the.
Yeah, they couldn't do that. And then like, he's around being like, why do you have this abomination? But
he's the only one who objects to it. Is my point. He's the only one who, where everybody else is like, this is really awesome. Can you make more? Yeah. Can you bring back
even
more?
During all this, like Riri asks him like, am I a good person? He just like has a really long pause. You're like, well, so somebody in this show is objecting to what she's doing.
So do you think I'm a good person? Never mind. Just figured I asked.
Good, bad, them words don't really mean anything. It's all depending on who's labeling you.
And then it does the thing that, like, certainly Agatha, I mean, you're kind of stuck in the Marvel universe with this problem, which is they go to witches and they're like, teach us magic so we can fight. Because the dude, this Parker guy, it's clear that he has a magic cloak that is corrupting him, is causing him to be all veiny. It's making him crazy. And it's some sort of power addiction, Gollum's ring kind of situation. And so they're like, teach me some magic. And they go to witches about this. And they're like, well, there's good magic and bad magic. And but no matter what, magic always takes away. And I'm like, this is all very heretical. But it's, a sorcerer, Doctor Strange is like one of the best good guys. And so it is what it is.
Yeah. And it is strange to have the girl genius be like, I can only be like good if I have magic in my suit. It's like, it's strange. I don't know.
It's strange because her whole thing is like, I can solve anything with technology. I can bring the dead back with technology. So there's some interesting themes, I think, that was bringing me along. I just felt like the show wasn't really executing on each one in a coherent way, but it was, I'll say this. I was like, I've watched a few of these shows where I'm like, please make it end. It's so fucking boring. And I'm barely getting scene to scene. Somehow this kind of got around that for me. Maybe they kept it moving or something.
Yeah, I was actually strangely intrigued.
Yeah.
I like after that, like the pilot, I almost quit outright because I thought it was so like cringe and disjointed and weird. Then they introduce Han Solo there because she needs tech for her suit. And he's kind of like hoarding a bunch of like military grade tech as a hobby. And you find out that he's actually Obadiah Stane's son.
Jeff Bridges'
son. She kind of draws him into this like kind of into these capers using his tech, and which eventually gets him arrested. And then he kind of gets pissed off at her and makes a deal with Parker to like basically join the team to get back at Riri. So there's some interesting stuff there. Like I thought that was like kind of their like little friendship with Ezekiel, and then kind of her kind of messing it up by betraying his trust.
Although I'm sitting there watching this Han Solo guy who has a lot of charisma and he's a great actor, and there's not a lot of great actors in the show. The acting is quite bad throughout, and the dialogue is quite cheesy, but he's a standout because he's a star, this guy. And I'm going like, you don't have any superheroes that this dude could be.
He's Jebediah, whatever that guy's name.
Yeah,
Jeff Bridges' son.
Like, you gotta dump this dude out on Disney Plus. I mean, this guy could probably be, I don't know, Captain America's brother or something. Like he could be somebody.
I'm sure this would. So what would his name be? He's like Ironmonger's son. Is that a character? So he's something at least. He's like a cyborg now. He's got implants all over him.
I don't have the wherewithal to look it up. So there's a moment where she's asking like, is this criminal gang, ethical? She's like, we Ocean's 11 or we the Sopranos?
We Ocean's 11 or The Sopranos?
What's the difference?
I'm only doing this because I have to.
There's a scene where that guy that we were talking about, her brother or whoever the hell he is, I forget. I think he must be not her brother.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a love interest. I think even though there's no chemistry between them.
He says, this is a real line from the show. Come on, girl, and I mean that colloquially, not at all pejoratively.
Get you on your feels, huh? Now, come on, girl. And I mean that completely colloquially, not at all pejoratively.
So anyway, the show ticks along. It eventually, she's got to, there's kind of a cool hero moment where she's got to get the suit up and running, and there's, some family, her mom and this kid from the block, and they're all going to like help her, it becomes kind of a cool family affair sort of thing. I just want to say one more time, it makes no sense that she would like ding Tony for being a billionaire when, he built the thing in a cave. And then in Iron Man 3, they went out of their way to be like, and he could do it again if he was like abandoned, in the snow. They really went out of their way to be like, Tony Stark does figure things out like in his kitchen. Again, just undermining your own storytelling. You're thinking the whole time, is the guy who gave Parker the cape, is that, and of course the character's name is the Hood. Is it Mephisto who gave him the cape? And it turns out, yeah, it is. So Mephisto, the long rumored villain of WandaVision, who actually wasn't, it turned out they had him all planted in 2023 and we never knew. Played by Sacha Baron Cohen, another standout actor. And again, like if you want an actor to stand out, put him in a show where nobody's acting, where all the acting is very poor. Because Mephisto is basically Marvel's Satan, about as explicitly as it could possibly be, wouldn't you say? I mean, it's no mistaking it. This is the devil. This is Lucifer himself, right?
He wants souls. He's making deals. It's basically the devil.
Faustian. It suddenly becomes a Faustian tale, and the whole show got a whole lot better for me very fast.
Yeah, when Sacha Baron Cohen needed to pay for his expensive divorce.
I'm not saying that the show was fixed. I'm not. Some of it even felt kind of tacked on. I'm not saying that anything all that great happened. But up to this point, I was thinking, are they just glorifying these young people who are doing these terrible things and not realizing that they're? Because again, I think that a few of these shows, like Agatha, and they kind of like get lost in their own. They get high on their own supply. They get lost in the plot. You know what I mean? Yeah, because they're glorifying these kind of like ugly parts of their characters, thinking it's empowerment. That's really what it is. And then the devil shows up, and this is something I need to impress upon our audience. The show tells us that Riri is a genius relentlessly. It shows us sometimes. It tells us all the time.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius.
Mediocre institutions rejecting your genius.
Get to it, genius girl.
But you're the genius, right?
Girl, genius dies. Riri, you genius.
She says she wants to be iconic. This is a big part of the show. Is I'm going to be her goal in life. Her guiding ethic is to be iconic. And I'm going like, fuck this person. Like this is really not a hero. Well, the devil figures that out, and suddenly it's like, oh, like. He's looking for, I'm talking about Parker and I'm talking about Riri. He's looking for vulnerable personality traits that he can exploit. Your intellect is something that can always be exploited. Like your intellect is not the most important thing about you. Your intellect is not the thing that's going to make the difference. I think in your happiness, in your relationships. It might make the difference in a career or, I don't know, whatever, but it's just not the most important thing, and it can be exploited. I think that smart people can get creative sometimes with their ethics or with their path. And so this kind of Sacha Baron Cohen devil knows this.
Her intellect, her tragic loss in her life, and exploits it for what I assume is going to be his own gain. It kind of ends on a cliffhanger, which is disappointing.
Yeah, because will they ever make any more episodes of this thing? But he always has a meal with them. He's having like a bit, he always orders way too much food. There's tons of pizza, this like, and
he's like changing his accent, and he's
changing his accent, and he's, I think what makes the good casting is there's Sacha Baron Cohen's a really interesting person just facially, because there's kind of an ugliness to him and an attractiveness to him kind of simultaneously. I think like he can be both. He can be confusing, and he's a deceiver. He is, by trade, like Sacha Baron Cohen is a deceiver.
Nice. My wife.
My wife. Yes. From Epic Movie. Nice.
Nice.
With Parker, he's like, what do you want? Stop bullshitting me. Just tell me what you want. And he's like, I want to be filthy, disgusting, ridiculously rich. That's all he can come up with.
He wants to be a king, yeah.
Yeah, I want to be a king. And it becomes like any other addiction where he gives him this cape that gives him all this power. It's never enough. It'll never be enough, right?
And he has this like kind of like well-to-do father who abandoned him and all that stuff. So it's again a tragedy loss that he's exploiting, and ambition that he's exploiting.
He says to Riri, I love the exceptional, the terrific, the dogged, the inquisitive, and curious.
You're capable of building something
Iconic.
Okay. The person who will consider a deal with the devil in the first place. The two of them, Parker and Riri, both have these really bad ethical aims. I want to be iconic. I want to be a king. I just want to be pumped up. Extrinsic motivators instead of intrinsic motivators generally. And that's perfect for you want something cosmetic. You want some money. You want some. You want to feel good about yourself for a little while. It's fascinating. It's nothing special what they did. It's a Faustian tale. But I love Faustian tales because at the root of them, it's always like the devil convinces you to bet something that you couldn't afford to lose. It's always that. And preys upon the desperate because the desperate think they have no leverage and that they need a miracle. So this is like a quick miracle. It's a little hard, I think, to tell a Faustian tale in a universe where there's no Christ. I think nothing to offset it. Yeah, and it's only by the time you get to Mephisto where now it's just straight up. He's like, hey, I think it's great that you made your AI abomination. And only now is the show like very definitive about, that it was wrong to create that thing. But it sends confused messages because her best friend AI is like, has a full personality and is sad.
Or even just watching like Agatha all along where Agatha is like killing people, but the show kind of celebrates her and follows her and is pretty okay with her. And it's just like, so you think they're doing that with this show, and it's kind of surprising that they're like, oh no, actually, she's gonna make a deal with the devil.
I just saw a scene where where Riri made herself a better fitted suit and then had a witch cast a spell on it. So,
that's true.
Like,
I thought the young witch, she was pretty cute. The glasses.
She was, yeah, cute. She was cute. She's a better Kat Denning than Kat Denning was.
Shut up about it. We go first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
Yes! Bonnie and Clyde back on the streets! Come on, veteran!
A lot of cheesy dialogue. R.I.P. your intestines.
Oh yeah, it's relentless.
At one point they say, "You my glitch."
The
Is that?
That's like, yeah, that's the whole like Disney family, Disney, yeah.
You my glitch.
You're a glitch. But you're my glitch. Thanks.
You know, this Sacha Baron Cohen Mephisto thing, because you can, dude, imagine that guy versus Doctor Strange in a big movie, you know, or I think he's very interesting, you know, especially since he's kind of like, I wouldn't say all powerful. The devil's not all powerful, but he has dominion. He said, you know, they think it's Dormammu at first from Doctor Strange. He goes, Dormammu, he's not fit to clean my glorious asshole. Like, this is a very powerful guy. In theory, this dude's way more powerful than Thanos. It's just more like he works in the shadows. He's not necessarily trying to, you know, he's capturing souls one at a time. Very interesting to see him become part of like the Marvel milieu, I think.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if they even would go there. We don't even know if Ironheart's really making a deal with him. And I think they kind of leave it ambiguous, I think. But it would be kind of cool if like he kind of made a dark Avengers with a dark, like she's kind of a dark Tony Stark. What if he did succumb to like his vanity and greed and become something else? They probably will do that with Doomsday as well, I'm
Right.
assuming.
There's something there. On the one hand, I think they should throw this whole thing out. This show and whatever and all the other ones. On the other hand, you've got Kate Bishop from Hawkeye. You've got the Thunderbolts. They've accumulated some interesting characters over time. And I wonder if like in better hands, can you pick up the pieces of this thing? It's just crazy to watch an entire 5-year period botched. It's so fucked up.
It is. I know. It's, you know, yeah. When did Endgame come out? Was that 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
So 6 years.
And then COVID happened, and then everything, you know, movies ended.
Yeah, movies stopped. Yeah, they stopped.
That's not true. There's some really good stuff. There's really great stuff on Paramount Plus. You guys just never watch it. I'm like, is there?
Is there?
Maybe there is. I don't know. Maybe there's a great indie film on Paramount Plus that I'm sleeping on.
But yeah, I weirdly liked Ironheart. I don't know. It's just like it was okay.
I don't know. It would be hard for me to say I liked it.
The cringe when it's cringe is powerful. It's off the charts, but it kind of brings you back a little.
It's nowhere near the more I think about it, I'm like, you know what? I liked it significantly more than Loki for my taste. Maybe. There were times where I liked Loki a lot more. There are times where I liked this a lot more. But, you know, Echo's bottom of the barrel. Echo's total shit. I mean, let's think in terms of the TV shows. So you had WandaVision. I really liked WandaVision. Winter Soldier and The Falcon, I thought it's like a good show, right? I mean, I spent a lot of money on it and it looks good and there's a decent story there. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And then Loki, not really, you know, I felt like they had a great pilot, an amazing pilot.
Oh, yeah. That was
and
amazing.
then they ran out of ideas after that.
Yeah.
And then they had a season 2 that was really flat on its ass, in my opinion. And now he lives in the trees. And then you had Moon Knight, which was like conceptually interesting, but I felt like, you remember just slogging through it. You're in the pyramids and you're in like whatever.
Didn't interest me at all.
Didn't interest me.
It was nothing. I couldn't latch on to anything really.
And then what happened after that? I get lost in the sauce from that point on.
Did you mention Hawkeye already?
Oh, I loved Hawkeye.
I love it and the Christmassy nature of it.
Yeah, the Christmassiness really. Like, I would actually rewatch Hawkeye, like happily, except for maybe the Echo parts.
Yeah.
Echo's
obviously, parts. Yeah.
Poor Vincent D'Onofrio. He's gotten to replay Kingpin like, you know, a bunch of times now in the new MCU, and
it's like the worst version of Kingpin.
Yeah, I mean, he always brings something decent. You know, it's nice to see you, but the shows aren't so good. I don't know, man. So what's coming up from Marvel?
Well, it's Fantastic Four in a couple weeks. And then
if I were them, I'd just like bring the whole thing to a stop, and I would like need one win and then build everything off that win. Spider-Man 4 in 2026, Avengers Doomsday in 2026, Secret Wars in 27, Eyes of Wakanda, Wonder Man. That's what I was trying to think. Wonder Man. Oh. That's in December. A series about the character Simon Williams, also known as Wonder Man. Armor Wars. They're not doing that anymore, right? A film focusing on War Machine.
No, they're not doing
That's all done with.
I don't think so.
The Punisher Marvel Special a special focusing on the character of the Punisher. I would watch that.
Yeah, I think that's perfect for that character and that kind of side story.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings 2.
Is that what?
That can't be right. You guys making this for sure. If I'm Bob Iger, I'm not spending the money.
Yeah.
I'm not spending the money.
What I would probably be doing is like, I don't know, get the real Avengers back.
Would you guys be willing? That's just crazy. It's like they made a Thor 4, the fourth Thor.
Yeah, well,
And,
it
wasn't very good.
Yes! Bonnie and Clyde back on the streets! Come on, best friend! Go, best friend! Let's go, best.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.